Good morning, YouTube. Lead bullets versus copper plated or copper coated. Either way, copper versus lead. So there's some differences, obviously, and I would invite you to pay attention to this because, well, let's just say there's a lot of gullible people that believe anything they read. There's people that read stuff they can't even interpret and understand. So I'm going to lay it out for you because, well, let's do this. Lead bullets are inexpensive, dense, soft, but they fragment on impact, which is kind of what we want too, right? We want to and gut that animal and kill it, right? However, posing an environmental and health risk to wildlife through lead poisoning. This is where it gets really interesting. Copper-coated bullets are more expensive but offer greater projectile integrity, retaining their mass and providing reliable expansion. Not necessarily, because a lot of copper bullets don't even expand at all, okay? Or if they do, very, very little compared to lead. And it gets better, don't worry, okay? Making them a conservation-friendly alternative, which is also, by the way, where they first lie. Right there is a big, huge lie. And we're going to explain this. The main considerations are cost, bullet performance, fragmentation, expansion, penetration, and minimizing environmental contamination. Now, if you're an upland game hunter, so ducks and geese, you're shooting over water generally, right? Well, in Ontario at least, we are now regulated where we can only use steel shot in our shotguns, not lead anymore, okay? Now, if you want to go shoot grouse, lead or steel, take your pick, okay? But things like ducks and geese, yeah, it's steel shot. Now, steel is lighter than lead. It also doesn't penetrate as well. So you have to have a more powerful round in order to compensate for the lighter weight steel, or you got to be a lot closer. Otherwise, you ain't killing squat. Anyways, my buddy went through this himself. He shot a duck, he hit it, but it didn't die. It just flew away because the steel wouldn't even penetrate. Anyways, pros, okay, lead bullets. Lead is inexpensive, making lead bullets the cheapest option. We've been running lead since day one of firearms, okay? And it's always been found to be the more accurate bullet anyways, but of course there's debate on that, which we'll get to. Density. Its high density allows for excellent momentum retention. In other words, it retains its energy better because it's heavier than a copper jacketed or copper plated bullet, okay? There's a difference in metal densities here, but we're not done yet. Malleability. Its softness allows it to conform to the barrel's rifling and expand easily. And by allowing it to conform to the barrel's rifling better, it also means better accuracy from lead because it can conform, right? Copper, it's a lot harder metal, and it's not so malleable, and it can't do the job as well. Depth of rifling does make a difference too, by the way. Cons. Environmental health risk. Lead fragments from bullets, especially in gut piles. So when we kill an animal, we gut it. That's generally where the bullet should have ended up, okay? So, unless you got it through and through, that's different. No worries. Now, fragmentation. They tend to lose a significant portion of their mass on impact, which I believe is true, creating numerous small fragments. Okay, but it's going to penetrate either way, and there's still going to be a big chunk even if pieces come off of it. Either way, dead animal, as we know, okay? So, while harder lead bullets don't expand well, okay? Don't expand well. So, there's different densities of lead too. One of the worst ammos on the market, which I'll do a separate video on, is actually Winchester Wildcat. Number one, they don't give a shit how they pack that ammo in the little tiny container, because you'll notice that there's no little grates like we get in other ammo types where they're individually in different little slots and they can't touch each other. Therefore, the condition of the lead bullet head is absolutely where Wildcat doesn't give a shit how they pack their ammo, and it tends to be dinged up, dented, all kinds of bullshit. No wonder the ammo doesn't work and nobody likes it. And nobody's guns like Winchester Wildcat either. And it's cheap ammo. Okay? So anyway, copper coated. Now, this is where some lies come in. Conservation, they are non-toxic to wildlife. That is an outright blatant lie, because copper coated, okay, or copper plated, the core inside there is actually lead or lead alloy, okay? So, and there's no way of knowing which one. So they kind of lie here because the core inside, underneath that copper coating, okay, is actually lead or lead alloy, which is the poisoning factor they're bitching about full lead bullets. So where is the non-toxic coming from? There's no such thing. They lie right there. If you look up, and I did, where does lead come from? Okay, is kind of, you could look up where it comes from. Okay, lead originates naturally occurring in ores in the Earth's crust and enters the environment through natural geographical processes, and more significantly through human activities like mining, smelting, manufacturing, the use of lead containing products such as lead acid batteries. Okay, it used to be paint as well. It didn't hurt Gen Xers. We still got high IQs. It contaminates the air, water, soil, leading to widespread environmental presence and human exposure. We live on planet Earth. Everything's going to kill us eventually. You die of something. You're not getting off this rock alive. Lead ores, natural sources. Lead exists naturally in the Earth's crust, though in relatively low concentrations. Much higher concentrations are found in lead-containing ores such as gallium. Okay, that stuff's nasty shit. Which are mined to extract the metal. Okay, radioactive decay. Lead can also be formed naturally from the radioactive decay of elements like uranium and thorium. Okay, human activities, mining, smelting processes, air, soil, water. We've gone through that. Manufacturing products. Lead has been used extensively in many products. Batteries, the largest of the lead globally is in lead acid batteries, especially for vehicles. Teslas. Paints. The past widespread use of lead in paints is a significant source of environmental contamination. I don't know why they use lead in paint, but they do. Maybe it's because of an adhesion thing. Who knows? Gasoline. Historical use of leaded gasoline also distributed lead into the environment. Now we don't have lead gasoline anymore. We have lead additive because a lot of old timers want to keep those classics running. So they need a lead additive for the gasoline now. Otherwise the engine is going to go boom. Okay? Other uses. Lead also comes from solder, pipes, ammunition, pottery glazes, and some cosmetics, and is used in recycling processes. Recycling of the lead, particularly from batteries, is a major source of lead in global metal market and also a source of environmental exposure. Due to its natural occurrence and historical use, lead is now present in all parts of the environment, including air, soil, water, household dust, food, and drinking water. Okay? Now, if you're a firearms owner and you make your own bullets, you can have a very high extreme lead content in your body, which is not good for you. But, hey, you know what? If you're going to make your own bullets, you're going to make your own bullets, and that's all there is to it. And so you take your chances because you're smelting your own lead, you're melting it, you're pouring it into molds, you got the fumes coming off that, all that shit gets into your body, whatever, okay? But it's no different in a factory. They're making our bullets for us, you know, or you make your own bullets. Take your pick. It's cheaper to reload your own, but you can't reload 22 cal, unfortunately. Anyway, so the cons of copper is it's a more expensive material, making copper bullets cost more than lead, which is true. Expansion at low velocity, at very long ranges or low velocities, copper bullets may not expand as reliably as their lead counterparts. Okay? Key considerations are for hunters and conservation-minded individuals, copper bullets are more environmentally responsible choice due to the elimination of lead fragments, which is bullshit because we've already found that the inner core of a copper-coated or copper-plated bullet is lead or a lead alloy. Okay? Either way, you got lead involved here, and it's still a problem, but they're trying to say no. They're trying to sweep it under the rug. Kind of like right now with our whole gun issue in Canada, the government's coming after law-abiding gun owners for our guns that look like assault rifles, for example, which a lot of these things don't even look anywhere near an assault rifle. They look no different than one of mine. But they were an old war gun, and so they picked on a lot of those. Now they're trying for the SKS. Now, an assault rifle, by the way, in the definition of assault rifle, it is a fully automatic weapon, which we haven't had since 1978 in Canada. And nobody needs an assault weapon in personal everyday use for any purpose whatsoever. Don't tell that to an American, though, because they're different. But in reality, nobody needs a fully auto weapon, and none of our AR-style guns, okay, because it's a style factor, it looks mean, but it's not mean. It's still only semi-auto, okay? It's not full auto, which is a big difference, okay? But our government is, when it comes to that sort of thing. Look at the new guy in charge, for example. He doesn't even know what a PAL, an RPAL, or a CFSC course is. Anyway, getting out of the politics side of things. But this is political when you think about it too, right? So, anyhow, hunting performance. Well, lead bullets excel at lower velocities and greater distances, okay? Copper bullets are generally superior for big game. Now, here's the thing. When I took the CFSC course, Canadian Firearms Safety course, our instructor told us a lot of stories, which are true stories, not fictional bullshit. Some guy's out hunting one day, shoots a bear with a full metal jacket, bullet, okay? Now, that's usually used in war, because in war, we're not actually supposed to be killing each other. We're supposed to be severely wounding the person so that they can't fight, which reduces numbers, increases the odds of winning. But people do get killed a lot more because headshots, chest shots. I mean, hey, you're shooting, it's a panic situation. It's you or him, and people tend to aim where they're not supposed to, okay? So you do get an awful lot of deaths, but full metal jacket ammo is designed to go in one end and out the other and not leaving bullets inside, okay? So, but also we're not supposed to be literally murdering each other in a war, apparently. I don't know the whole deal. I've never been to war, don't really care, okay? However, it is what it is. So this guy shoots at an animal. It goes in one end, out the other, went right through a damn cornfield. It kept going, and it was smacking shit on the way. It landed going through a guy's house at the other end. This is why you always need to know your background, okay? Landed beside the guy, just missing him by a matter of a couple of inches, okay? A couple more inches over, that guy would have been either severely wounded or dead, which means the hunter, if he would have killed the guy, even though it's an accident, it doesn't matter. He did not check his environment behind him. He's using the wrong ammo for the job, okay? And it nearly caused the death of another individual, which that hunter, if he would have killed him, would have been doing life imprisonment. Even though it's an accident, does not matter. You are responsible as a firearm owner and as a hunter to know your background behind your target. You're supposed to be using the appropriate ammunition for the job, which also would hopefully not impact other problems on the other end, okay? I'd rather have a lead bullet that could get stopped enough that even if it went through, it wouldn't go very far afterwards, and I still kill my animal without harming another individual or any other wrong animal on the other side, okay? So, etc., if you know what I mean. So, they do excel, okay, and, you know, for copper bullets, but, yeah. Anyways, cost versus performance. The decision often comes down to a trade-off between cost of lead versus the improved environmental and terminal performance of copper-coated projectiles. Now, let me finish this off by saying a very simple thing. Your firearm chooses its bullet, whether it's a lead bullet or whether it's a copper-coated, copper-plated, full metal jacket, whatever. Your gun chooses the ammo it runs the best with for the best accuracy. Also, people have their own idea of what they are considering acceptable accuracy. Some will settle for 5th rate, others at 3rd rate, and then you've got guys like me who will only tolerate absolute the best that that firearm could possibly ever give. And if that means that I get nothing more than a nickel-sized group, I need to accept that, okay? But I do strive toward getting below dime size. And you don't have to spend $8,000 on an Olympic class precision rifle to get below dime size groups. I have a $400 rifle in my cabinet that runs Eley Contact, which is an all lead bullet, and I am getting absolute way below dime size groups. In fact, I can easily put bullet after bullet in the same hole when I focus enough, but that day at the range, I lost a touch of focus. And so 3 went in the same hole, 2 more tore the edge of that hole, and then I still got 2 more in that same hole that I made, okay? That is very acceptable accuracy, okay? Like, that is like no problem, all right? So that's the kind of accuracy I strive toward, okay? Now, I also tried over 20 types of ammo in that gun, like I do in all my guns, okay, to find out which one it likes. And if I still can't find anything, I guess I got to keep hunting around. But I also have one gun that's at the point where it was a lemon right from the start, and we're still trying to solve that with Savage right now. But otherwise, I mean, I do have another gun in my collection, 22LR, uses lead bullets, CCI standard, in fact. And the best it can do is a loony size group, okay? But it stays in the loony. It doesn't go outside, okay? Now, that's with CCI standard. That gun does have the potential to do way better because any semi-automatic 22LR should be able to at least achieve nickel to preferably dime size groups. And that's more than acceptable for a semi-auto, okay? Bolt action rifles should be way below dime size. And any bolt action rifle that's a good rifle, well made, good crown, good bore cut, and the rifling, etc. Okay, as long as everything's good, that's what you should be expecting, regardless of how much you pay for that gun. Doesn't matter, okay? Anyways, so that's that part, and that's the other part of where lead comes from and stuff too. And the inner core, even in this jacketed ammo or plated ammo, the inner core is still lead or lead alloy, so they lie about the environmental part right there. So, anyways, just some education for you guys. You can Google this crap yourself. Just, you know, whatever kind of search you want to do. I did a search on lead bullets versus copper coated, and this is the information it gave me. And though some stuff I will agree with, some stuff I obviously don't because I know better. And then I also looked up where does lead come from, okay? And then it tells me other information, etc., etc. So I invite you to do your research too, because, you know, as a firearm owner, as a hunter or a target shooter, no matter how you use your firearms, you need to know and understand them. You need to know and understand ammunition, ammunition types and speeds, and the designs of bullet heads, and et cetera, et cetera. And you need to always find that right bullet for your gun. And striving for accuracy is not a bad thing. The more accurate you can be with your firearm, the better you are going to be with it, the safer hopefully you can shoot it, you know, type of thing, right? Because if you have a grouping that's like this at, say, 100 yards, okay, which I find a lot of people think is acceptable, which it's not in any universe, the further away you go, the bigger the group expands. So if you start at below a dime at 25 yards and it stays there pretty good at 50, well, at 100 yards, it's going to start to open up a bit, so maybe down to a nickel. A nickel on 22LR is amazing, okay? That is amazing results, all right? Without buying the super top of the line, most expensive guns out there that Olympic shooters use. And the ammo that they use, by the way, is abhorrently expensive, okay, and can only run in those type of firearms. So, yeah. But then again, they still have to go through a lot of that type of ammo for those guns to get the accuracy. And there are times that even in those massively expensive guns, cheap, shitty ammo that costs you like $10 a box actually is what they need in that gun. Because the bottom line of this, guys, girls, is your gun, the barrel, it will choose the ammo it shoots the best with. But you still have to be a good shot yourself and know how to shoot your own damn gun properly to get accuracy as well. It's more than just the bullet. It's more than just the gun. It's also the person behind the trigger, okay? And what their level is of accuracy and how they're going to practice and achieve that level and what they're willing to go through to get that accuracy. And that's why I know for a fact, and I believe it, and I've experienced it, that it doesn't matter how much or how little you pay for a gun, as long as that gun is built correctly, barrel straight, bore is done correctly, rifling's good, muzzle, crown is good, that sort of stuff, there is no excuse. Okay, and there are some very inexpensive firearms. Look at guns from 50, 60 years ago that costed $30. Now people want $300, $400, $500, $1,000 for that gun because, well, they think it gained value because of its age. Okay, but condition also matters too. But not all guns gain value either. But some of those guns that cost $30 back in the day, that same kind of gun being built today would cost you probably hundreds, if not a couple of grand, right? For the same sort of thing, but built upon modern, materials, modern specs, and all this stuff. Some of those older guns, by the way, are built way better than the new stuff, and the older stuff outlasts a lot of the newer stuff. So, the other thing too, one last note: copper jacketed ammo will wear out your barrel rifling faster than what lead can ever do. Okay, you'll get far more life out of lead than you will copper, but again, the choice is not yours to make for the ammo you use. It is the choice of the firearm, okay? It will decide what ammo it works best with. And this is why we need to buy a huge, massive variety of ammo with every single gun we buy, okay? And in whatever calibers we buy them in. So we find that perfect ammo for that gun that gives us the top level precision capable out of that gun, and our own shooting skills do help, and the more you shoot, the better you get, as long as you're striving to be a better shooter. If you're not, well, you're always going to suck ass and you'll never group anything. So, on that note, I'm out of here. See ya.